So this is a section of my yard I call the oak meadow. It's mostly native plants, and formerly this was behind me all lawn. And the first year after I got rid of the lawn, it was just a blank slate. So I planted a big block of popcorn, glass gem, grew beautifully. I got popcorn that lasted 3 years, and also a big patch of really big sunflowers that did well. But since then I've been slowly filling it in with some native shrubs and trees, and it's looking quite nice. First of all, I call this my oak meadow because of this native Oregon white oak that my neighbors gave me. This was a gift from their younger son to their older son and his wife when they got married. But they still live in an apartment 5 years later, so they all said it was okay for me to plant it in my yard. And it will be the dominant thing in this section of the yard, but you won't know it for another few years. Native iris here does really well in the full sun, right next to this enormous Oregon grape that I planted from a tiny little plant 5.5 years ago. This blue blossom ceanothus, or also known as California lilac, is just about done blooming. Fantastic attractant for all kinds of pollinators, especially these cool longhorn beetles in the subfamily Lepturinae. All kinds of other bees and flies and bumblebees like it. It was the one shrub in the yard when I moved here. It was quite small then, only about 2.5 feet high. Another dominant plant here in this part of the yard is the serviceberry. Serviceberry are very susceptible to rust, but it doesn't really kill the plant. And I don't know if there's anything that can be done about it. This is our native gumweed in the sunflower family. It hasn't quite bloomed yet. I have a couple of narrowleaf mule's ears here that are just barely surviving, but a lot of the native bugs seem to nibble on them, or non-native, maybe even the pill bugs or earwigs. So and certainly the slugs. I put out some slug bait and I come out at night and look. This is too dry, even though it was a wet winter, for this Lupinus polyphyllum. It's a big leaf lupin native to the Willamette Valley. It likes to be sitting in wet water, its feet in the water all winter long until maybe May or June when it finally does dry out. It dries out in this area too soon. The soil is too well drained. It's not clay. This is river loam here. I just put this blue-eyed grass. It's an iris was given to me. Let's see if it survives. What else is in here? There's a lot of the Colomia has reseeded. This Oregon Sunshine came in on its own. There's a Douglas aster here that came here on its own. It's spreading from over there. Oh, this is one of my favorites. This is the tufted hairgrass. And it has reseeded, and there are currently 5 others in the yard, 2 from last year and then 3 that sprouted this year. And hopefully it'll be a dominant grass in the yard alongside the Romer's fescue. Here's one showy milkweed that I transplanted last year that's just barely hanging on in here. It can compete with the other stuff. This is a non-native goldenrod that was already in the yard, very dwarf form. This is one of the 2 very locally native species of milkweeds. There's that showy milkweed, and this is narrowleaf milkweed. And it's just about to start blooming. It is spreading by runners down below, which is great. It's going to be a nice big patch here. The more milkweeds I have in the yard, better chance I might have monarchs showing up. Here's another narrowleaf mule's ear that I need to help along. Meadow checker mallows are all done blooming, but the lesser goldfinches love the seeds, and then they also reseed. Another native grass. This is the prairie June grass. Beautiful fountain shape. It has not reseeded. It's the same age as the tufted hairgrass, but I covered the whole area here with leaf mulch, and I may have suffocated a bunch of things that tried to sprout. The same goes with this other grass. This is the fourth species of grass I have in the yard. This is California oak grass. And appropriately is growing right next to the oak tree because they are often growing near each other. Here's another twinberry honeysuckle, which needs a little bit more extra water in this area. This chrysanthemum here is just a hold on. It's not native, but it still provides some fall color and some pollinator food later in the season in September and October, as well as this non-native dwarf goldenrod. And then earlier this year I planted a couple more natives, a white-flowered Brodiea. It won't be showing, it's completely dormant now, but it's right here somewhere. There'll be some onion-like leaves with white flowers, and then this foothill sedge, which actually grows on dry hillsides, not in water, but it'll like having a wet place during the winter. And in this large-leaf lupin just does not do well unless it gets a lot of extra water. And that's my oak meadow.